Single family.
Multifamily!
Single family!
Multifamily!
All right, in this video, we are going to have a debate. I'm going to debate the side of single family rentals.
And I'm going to debate the side of multifamilies.
I'm going to win, obviously. It's my channel. I'll do the editing, so if you say good points, I'm just going to edit them out.
I think I'm going to win, and you guys are going to see why in a second here.
All right, so let's get into it. I get asked all the time, Lucas, what do you like better, single family or multifamily? What are the reasons you like whichever one better? So I'm just going to start out.
Yeah, so which one do you like better?
Single families, it's not even really that close because a ton of reasons. The first one is single families so liquid. You can sell them so quickly. Everybody wants to live or rent in a house. Not everybody wants to live in an apartment. So there's way more single family rentals out there. And so therefore there's way more demand. So therefore you can sell them much easier.
So it's a lot easier to get a multifamily these days is what you're saying because there's no market for it.
Well, it's hard to get both right now, but if you own a single family rental, it's a lot easier to sell it than, you know how many people are looking for a house as compared to how many people are looking for a 20-unit apartment complex? Well, I know there's a lot more people looking for houses than single family or the houses than multifamilies because the stat I got up there behind me, 70% of people live in single family houses. So I'm just playing numbers game, bro.
Yeah.
And 80% of people want to. So I don't know where that stat came from, but it sounds probably accurate to me. So there's even a 10% delta of people that don't live in single families but want to.
What if 70% of the people live in single family rentals, but the market is like 80%? You know what I mean? There's only 20% of multifamily units out there, the whole thing. So maybe the demand for multifamily might even be higher.
It could be. It could be. I'm just going sheer numbers. I think there's about 80 to 90 million houses in the United States, and there's a lot less multifamily. Take that part out of there.
Well, let's just go back to that liquidity thing first, because I used to think that same way. But the last two apartment complexes that we've tried to get had multiple offers on it. So they're in high demand right now. I feel like you can trade them on the open market a lot easier than you could a little bit ago.
It has gotten easier to sell multifamilies than it used to back in the day, but as supply becomes more abundant, I still think that it'll be easier to sell a house and quicker than a multifamily because you can sell a house and if the title company's working quickly, it'll take 3 weeks. Multifamilies do have longer due diligences usually, and there's more things to check out. So I like the simplicity of it also. The other part about the liquidity is I can't sell one of the 30 units. I have to either sell all 30 or sell none, as opposed to if I have 30 single family houses, if I need to just pick off one because I need an extra 40 grand of my profit in there, I can do that. Boom, good thing you didn't just tell me that point before we edited it. All right, so what's your
Sheer
point?
volume. Well, the main reason I like multifamilies over single-family rentals is because the value of my asset is not based on the market, so to speak. You know, my value is based on just numbers. So my net operating income, whatever that is, you know, raise the rents, lower the maintenance expenses, you know, that shows the value of my building. Whereas your asset is determined by how people feel about the market right now.
Well, you know what my asset also does? My asset's going to go up 15% this year because of appreciation because of a hot market. So I can sell it during a hot market, and if you're buying single-family properties correctly, like we do, and like hopefully people on here do as well, you can ride out the slow times. So of course, if it drops 10% over a year, just don't sell it. You know it's going to go back up, so you can take advantage of those hot markets. It'd be pretty hard for you to, in a 30-unit apartment complex, if you got people staying there a long time, to really make it raise that much value in 6 months. I mean, you can. But it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work,
but
you know, management efficiencies and maintenance efficiencies.
How much work is there going to be for our single family houses to go up this year because just the market goes up?
Well, when they go down that same amount.
But you don't have to sell them.
Right, but I'd rather them not go down because I control that asset.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I'm looking at it as the market goes down a little bit. You just hold on to it, ride it. Overall, it goes up by a lot. So if you do need to sell, just sell it when it's hot. When it goes down, don't just sell it. So I mean, I'd say we're probably 2 rounds to 0 rounds at this point.
2 to 0, you think?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So another thing I like about the single families, and this is, I guess, a little bit of a generality, but I think most people would agree that usually the single family tenants are a little bit easier to deal with. Usually the rent is more in single family houses unless you're doing like a luxury apartment complex, which definitely is out there. So usually, just in generalities, whether it's single families or multifamilies, the higher rent people pay usually are easier to deal with, and we see that. So the majority of our single family rentals are double what our multifamily rentals sell for. So I like those tenants. They're easier for me to deal with.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I think it all depends on the area. You can have a nice area with single-family rentals. You can have a nice area with apartments. What I do think, though, is on average, tenants stay in single families longer than they would in apartment. But I do think you can get just as good as tenants paying just as much rent in multifamily.
Agree to disagree.
2-1.
Okay, all right. How about financing? I know I'm going to smoke you on this one.
Yeah, what kind of financing you been getting lately?
It's so much easier to finance.
We're talking about the ease of
It's
financing.
so much easier to finance a single family rental. We had 20 or 30 single family rentals and we got turned down. We had like 20 or 30 rental houses with good W-2 jobs and we got turned down on our first apartment complex. The bank said no.
How many times did we get turned down on that first single family rental?
What do you mean?
We got turned down on
We went to Bank of America and we didn't go to the right bank.
Because we haven't done it yet. We had to prove the concept first.
Well, all right. So we got turned down a few times for the single families, but we had 20 of them.
We got turned down 25 times for the
More
single
like
family.
18 or 19. But we had 20 of them before a bank even would remotely consider multifamily. So it is definitely easier to underwrite and to manage a house versus an apartment complex.
Yeah, okay, I agree with you on it's easier, but who cares? I'd rather take a few extra days and a little extra underwriting to get the best terms possible. And I can get 30 years, sometimes 35 years at 3.5%, where on the single families we're getting like 5% at 25 years.
We're getting like 4.5%, not 5%.
4.5% at 25 years. So the cash flow difference on that is tremendous.
And we also have 30-year notes on some of our houses as well in the package refinance. So we got similar terms there as well.
That's true. But also, we don't have to personally guarantee a lot of the big-time multifamily loans that we do, where we do have to do that on every single
I don't mind personally
single-family
guaranteeing an
house.
incredible asset. That's all I sell all the time. So personal guarantee doesn't bug me at all.
Another reason why I love multifamily deals is maintenance consolidation. So if there's a sink leak at a couple of my apartments, I can hit that at the same day with the same maintenance tech. If I have a sink leak or what's a sink leak?
A leak that leaks.
A sink that leaked. A leak under the sink at multiple houses, maybe spread across the area, like we do have houses that are 45 minutes from each other. That might take all day, whereas I could do it in maybe 2-3 hours at the multifamily apartment complex. And with a multifamily building, usually you have some type of storage shed or basement, so you can have all the materials that you need for a quick fix already there, and you don't have to go to the store.
And you can also have the steps down to the basement. People can go to the bathroom in there and make your maintenance people step in human feces. That happens at apartments.
A little bit of a stretch there.
Hasn't happened.
A little bit of a stretch.
Has it happened?
Yes, it's happened once.
I don't think it's ever happened at one of our houses.
How do you know?
4-1.
Another reason why I like multifamily properties over single-family rentals is scalability. We can knock out 20, 50, 100 units in one single contract. So 30 days of due diligence, 45-day close, we could have 100 more units in our portfolio. Can you do that, sir?
Well, what does 27 mean to you?
27 Dresses?
There you go. It's a great movie. Is that a movie?
Yeah, I think, yes.
Okay. We bought 27 houses at one time. Granted, they were spread out a little bit, but 27 houses all rented in one swing, and we're actually negotiating a 42-pack of houses in the same neighborhood. So literally, the consolidation of maintenance can be with houses if you can get a 42-pack of houses. I get that, but they're all in the same neighborhood. So it's a little bit harder to probably find 42 houses in the same neighborhood, but they are out there as well as 27-pack of houses. We've seen it happen.
Yeah.
In summary, I think I know single-family rentals are better than multifamily rentals is because they're much more liquid. You can sell them much quicker. There's more of them out there. More people live in single-family houses than multifamily houses, and more people want to. Also, I didn't really hit on there's privacy. You can have a dog. You can have a fenced-in backyard. More people want to live in that, especially with the more space that people are desiring with all this crazy stuff that's been going on recently. The market does go up and down. You're gonna kind of do like an Eminem thing where I diss myself, 8 Mile before. Yeah. So granted that the market goes up and down with single family rentals and you can't really control the value as much as you can multifamilies. But when the market's down, you don't have to sell. So the value doesn't really matter unless you're refinancing or selling. It really doesn't. So you ride the hot market up and you find better tenants and it's much easier to finance. Done. I'm leaving. Mic drop.
I get to summary, right?
I guess you can, yeah.
In my summary, why I know multifamily beats single family is maintenance consolidation. You're going to save so much money on having all of those units under one roof in one location. Also, the ability to control the value of your asset over time by so you can force appreciation with raising rents and increasing property management efficiencies. Also, the scalability of it. I personally believe you should start with single family rentals. Get your feet wet, but
So just 5-to-1 now?
just to graduate to multifamily. Come to the land where everything is good. Not single family, multifamily, where it's at. You can scale faster, better financing terms. Come create generational wealth with multifamily, not single family.
That's a generational wealth back there. All right, before we get to Maisie's joke of the day, want to make sure everybody knows on here that about half the time I like multifamilies better and about half the time I like single families. That's why we purposely have over 50 multifamily doors, over 70, getting 70, 80 single family doors, as well as even storage facilities. So I love the idea of doing a little bit of both. You don't have to just pick one. You can, but I think it's awesome to have a little diversification within real estate because they do all have their pros and their cons. What if you can have a ton of multifamilies and have the liquidity of the single families? What if you can get the amazing, multifamily rates that you get, but also have the, potentially better tenants than single family? So you can have it all, I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I would just make sure you get really good at one and then switch to the other. If you start with both right away, I feel like there's some differences and nuances in them that it's difficult to do both great. So that's going to take time. So master one, then jump to the other.
You ready for Maisie's joke of the day?
I am.
What do you call the Terminator when he retires?
I'm not sure.
Ex-Terminator. Ex-Terminator,
So he's going to kill bugs.
There you go.
All right.
See you on the next one.